This is Ronnie. I'm the head gardener at the Parklands of Floyds Fork, and today we're going to show you how to plant a tree. First, you want to start off with digging a hole twice as wide as what the ball of the tree is going to be. So you can see we measured out roughly how wide this is, made it double the width. And you want to make sure the depth that you're digging it is as deep as the ball. So the next two tools you'll need for this are a pair of box cutters or a knife and a pair of bolt cutters. So you first want to start by cutting off the ropes that are holding the tree in the basket. Luckily we kind of ripped them off as we were moving it earlier, so we're halfway there. You want to cut off as much as possible. You want to make sure you get that off, because if you don't, this can sometimes repel the water and the water doesn't penetrate into the ball of the tree and it won't get any water down to the roots, and that's what we don't want. And then your next step, you want to carefully take off this wire basket that the B&B tree is sitting in. You want to be careful. This is kind of delicate sometimes when the ball of the tree is kind of falling apart. You don't want to cut it off completely so the thing falls apart, but at the same time you want to get off as much of that off as possible, because it can end up girdling the roots years down the road, and it ends up being a problem in years, not immediately. So after you get it all taken off, you look down here and see the crown of the tree, or the root crown of the tree, and you don't want to plant it flat. You don't want it to be past that to the soil level. So it looks like we're at a pretty good level. You want the top of the tree, pretty much where the tree was planted when it was in the nursery, to be at the top level of the soil. So then you start to backfill. As you're doing that, you keep an eye on how level the tree is, up and down. You can even backfill using the sod that you just took out, because it's good organic material. It's just going to die. It'll only feed the tree. Want to make sure the soil you just put on doesn't get up on the root crown again. Alright, and you lightly pack it into place. You don't want to pack it in too hard, but enough so the ball sits stable in there and you won't have to worry about it blowing over as easy. I have to go back in with some extra soil once you tamp it down a bit. If you're on some sort of a hill like we are, try to make it so the ball is level and the soil around it kind of creates a little bit of a more level area than the surrounding ground. Now we're ready for mulch. So mulch serves a couple different purposes. It acts as a great weed barrier, so around the base of the tree you won't have to worry about weeds until they start popping up through there, which will take a little while. And it also keeps the moisture in the soil around the tree, so it'll give the tree a better chance to live, and you won't have to water it as much. And it also gives some great organic material to be right around the base of the tree. When it decomposes, it'll trickle down its nutrients into the roots. When you're doing it, you want to put about 3 inches depth around the tree. You usually want to do it a couple feet width. And when you're doing it, you want to make sure you don't get mulch up to the trunk and around the root crown. Get it up there, but not quite. What you don't want to do with the mulch is create the infamous mulch volcano up around the tree. You see that in a lot of subdevelopments and shopping malls, where the mulch is right up against the trunk and it looks like a volcano of mulch. That's what you don't want to do, because eventually roots start growing into the mulch, and that's what you don't want. It creates a weaker tree and opens it up for disease. The last very important step to planting a tree is keeping it watered. You want to soak the entire area where you just planted, and you want to water it once every couple days during the growing season, during the hot summer days. After you plant it. Make sure you water it till the point of total saturation, until it's almost flooded.